Good morning, class. I wanted to give you kind of an update on what was going to be going on this week and the next couple weeks, and also just an update on what I've been doing. So let's start with some of the things I've been working on. Um, this is one of my awesome hobbies. Some of you might disagree, but this is a orange poppy seed roll that I made a couple weeks ago. Been learning how to make good breads and other fun things that are good to eat. Too bad I can't share it with you. This is a picture of my son and daughter out eating and hanging out on the lawn in their car seats because that was fun. That occupied them for several hours instead of screaming inside the house. This is a trip that we went on up in a Tanum area, if you're familiar with that, is out beyond Titan. And I drove my Land Cruiser out there. You can kind of see my family in the back, but we just kind of drove until we couldn't drive anymore. It was a lot of fun. This is another picture, but my daughter being goofy out there. I got a new coffee roaster. Looks like I'm creating bombs or other stuff, but it's just a coffee roaster. So there's a little gas element down here that is propane based, and it heats up the drum roaster, which moves around here. Drop in your beans, roast your coffee. This is where the smoke and other stuff called chaff goes out. And then this part right here is a cooling tray. So after you're done, you kind of open this part up and the coffee comes out and cools down. So it's one of my new hobbies. I've done it for years, but I kind of decided to be have a little more hobby during this time. So I used to do it in a little roaster that would only do a little bit of time, but now I can do a whole pound at a time. It's pretty fun. This is our classroom. Look how empty it is. I got there because I actually started my own school. Not like I'm teaching it. I'm a student in another master's program. So I was out working on some stuff here. So I've been busy doing lots of homework as well. Lots and lots and lots of homework. I wrote a 20-page paper last week. Um, this week I have another probably 5-6 hours worth of lecture to watch and another 4 or 5 page paper to write. Got my coffee, got my water, but yes, a nice empty classroom. Miss you all. Hope you're doing well. This is a action figure from Mandalorian that is pretty cool. It was actually at my friend's house, but I borrowed it because I thought it was cool and my kids would like it. So there's that, and there's Moses. We went fishing just the other day, and he caught 4 fish, and I caught 0. My dad did catch one. Is at a Clear Lake. It was absolutely beautiful. Went out on Saturday. I think that's the last picture. So that's been what I've been doing. I hope you're all doing great, and I'd love to hear what you've been up to, some of the things you've been doing. So let me give you kind of a preview on what we will be studying this week in our course. So intensified algebra, whoa, I just zoomed in somehow all the way. Let me hit this back. This is Desmos, as you can see. We're going to be looking at exponential functions. Exponential functions basically are things that move up by a constant rate that are multiplying. So we've already actually studied these a couple months ago. But this is where you notice the x values are going up by 1 each time until you get up here. Then I wanted to jump ahead to 10. The y values go up just by the same amount each time, but it's not adding because you'll notice you can't add to get to the next one. You end up multiplying. So you can probably notice as you do these and look at them and say, oh, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 24 times 2 is 48. And if you remember correctly, that's called a common multiplier. And so with a common multiplier, it basically is going to be going up by the same rate, but it's a multiplicative rate, not an additive rate. This is what the function will look like. You'll notice that 3 appears as the first number on the y. And then you'll notice that this is my rate, because remember, I'm saying you're multiplying by 2 to get from here to here. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2. So basically your equation will be either y or f of x, depending on which one you're dealing with, equals, and then it'll be the first number. So I'm going to call it the first number times the rate raised to the exponent. So that's kind of what your functions will look like. And you can use this to find things. So like, for instance, if I wanted to figure out what the 10th number is, I could go 10 times, I put the 10 in for the x. And so I do 3, and I can actually use Desmos. So I end up with 3 times 2 to the 10th power. And you'll notice it gives me the answer 3072. So I can type that in, 3072. And that gives me the data point. So if we look at it on the table, you'll notice that on the graph, you'll notice it doesn't really look like it's doing much. It kind of goes here and then here and then here, and it is increasing, but you can't really see it until you zoom out. And you'll notice that the values I have in here, you'll notice it's starting to increase very quickly. And then it just kind of goes up really, really, really fast. And I can even see the one I put up here, the 3,000. So you'll notice it kind of goes slow, 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 and then out of nowhere just jumps super high. But it's really hard to see the shape of your graph. Let me go back home. When I'm looking at it from -10 to 10, so I'm actually going to change the scale by clicking here and saying the x-axis, let's go from -1, because I don't really need to see all the negative numbers. And let's go all the way to 10, that's fine. But the y-axis, let's start at -5. Remember, I'm changing my domain with the x and the range with the y. So instead of 10, I'm gonna actually go up to 3,000. I guess, was it 3,072? So let's go 3,100. So 3,100. And you'll notice that if I move like this, you'll see that you can see it almost looks flat for a while, and then it starts increasing, and then my next value is right there. It's way up there. And then I turn this off so you can see it yet, but if I click on this little button, you'll notice that the line for the exponential curve goes through those points. So we'll be looking at data that does this kind of thing. There's a lot of different possibilities. Like for instance, you can start out with $3 in a savings account, and then if you double your earnings every single year, you might not see a growth at the beginning. So you'll start out with $3 in a bank account, and then 1 year later you'll have 6, and then the year after that you'll have 12. But you'll notice the investments, if you can double them, you can get a lot of money really fast. And so that's the whole deal with exponential equations. So this is what we'll be studying. You can get yours if you go to Agile Minds website. I've noticed a few of you are already logged in. This is going to basically go from now till the end of the school year. I'll try to log in and give some video lessons along the way. But you'll notice the Exponents book pages are here, so you'll click on this to download your book page. And then after that, you'll click on Exponents Notes Slides, and these are the ones you'll go through step by step. So if I click on this, you'll notice it'll take me directly to literally the first page, where you'll see something similar to this is a cell splitting. It goes through and kind of walks through. You fill out the table, fill in the graph, and if you follow along with your notebook, it'll make it easy to kind of keep notes as you go. Just go to the next slide and then the next slide, and it will take you through all the lessons. There is only 5 lessons, and so it shouldn't take you more than maybe a week or 2 to get through. My suggestion is take notes as you go, ask questions. If you need to mail them to me, that's fine, and follow along with the book pages. And once again, the way that you get those book pages, if you go back to the Agile Mind website, Exponents book pages, you can click directly on this and download it as either a PDF to print out or a Microsoft Word document, so you can type into it. And that should work on any computer that you have. So this is just an introduction to exponents. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and please email me. My expectation is that you'll work on it a little bit each day. I will do some more of these videos with some actual lessons as we go. I might even go through lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, and then answer whatever questions you have out of the activity workbook. So please open up that and get started on it. And if you do that, I will do my end of the bargain. Remember, we're working with relational trust here. So this is where I'm going to trust you to do your part and ask for questions as you need it. And you can trust me to provide the support that you need along the way. So there you go. Hope you all have a wonderful week. I miss you all and talk to you soon.